In this lecture, we will talk about the macro context and the micro context, main content and the supplementary content, and slightly we talk about micro semantics at the end. So here H1, that is our reflection of our macro context, where we can see our central entity, our central search intent directly here, and further we refine or explain with the context term and also with the specific signifier, that is health or health benefits. When you see here the incremental order heading list, these both as whole, this is the reflection of our macro context, and further we continuously process our main content in that specific area. Then the first heading that will appear after this incremental heading order list is a bridge between the macro context and the micro context. Most of the time, when you look at the SEOs, when they see this type of specific volume and this type of query repeat with a different combination, or it includes the certain type of words, they put this specific question directly here. But you see, we put it here after our main context and we put it as an bridge. As we said that for the new website, you create less pages. That's why we unite these two specific things in a very structured way. When you look to the query structure, you see this specific targeted source have this specific benefits of drinking water type of main queries, and for that specific context we choose this educational website and it have these specific phrase combinations. You can see which the source that we want to decrease their authority. We process this in a macro context, and we also process this specific type of context in that area. For example, after how much amount of water we see these specific benefits, or after how much percentage of daily intake we see the oxygen to cell is increased. And when we look at the kidney stone, how much water do we need? So that's how we continuously process this specific type of context in our macro context. Then we ask as a question as an border. When you see further that specific area, we use the boolean question, and inside the boolean questions we are actually focused on certain type of contextual layers, like before sleep, before dinner, during dinner, that type of things. If we continue further, we are asking that what is the benefits of drinking a gallon of water. Now here we change our phrase taxonomy a little bit, and also the benefits will be changing as well, because here we focus on the amount of water in terms of health benefits rather than a just drinking water activity. So we slightly focus on a little bit minor context here, and that's why it is a subcontext, and we directly use anchor text for it, and it is in the supplementary content. Now next, how to avoid dehydration, which is the opposite of drinking water, and since it is the antonym context, we directly put it to the bottom. Now here, what is the symptoms of drinking too much water, which is again the antonym for dehydration, and we put at the end and ask one more time. And one another thing, that if you have the numerical value in the start of your title and you have the antonym context in a supplementary content, I suggest you to use an other number directly in your anchor text too. But for other types of situation, if the numeric value does not appear inside the queries, you can sometimes skip the number section. But most of the time, from a numeric value content to the numeric value article, you need to create a link, especially if it appears in a queries with the numeric values. It helps for further ranking. So basically, if you remember the drawings, we always have macro context and the micro context. Macro context is processed in the main content, and the micro context is processed in the supplementary content. and we always have a border between them. When we choose the source to decrease the overall authority, we get its context terms and the terms that our website is able to rank in their beginning stage. But we also here reflect our main target for this specific query network during the macro context and also inside the bridge as well. When you look at this specific area, we did not have internal link in our macro context. We don't link in that area because this is our macro context. Most of the time, we link the most important internal links inside the main content and put the distance after that. If you check this specific part, we did not have any distance and we have the anchor text. And here you see H3, H4, H4 and these specific type of heading levels. Here we go lower in our hierarchy and we increase the internal link amount from the bottom. So to make everything a little bit further clear, we will focusing on hitting hierarchy and anchor text in the future lecture as well. Thank you.